Alright guys, here we are starting back at our automaton box, and this time what we're going to create is actually the follower guide subassembly, which is basically the axle that are going to run through these follower guides and basically follow our cams. So to do that, we're actually going to just kind of open a new design palette. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I save my current design just in case anything goes wrong. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to open a new design by selecting the plus key up here at the top of my tab, which creates a new space. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save it, and I'm going to save it under the name of what I'm making, which is going to be the follower guide subassembly. And I'm going to hit save. And you will see it's going to rename our untitled to the follower guide subassembly. So we're ready to start building in here. And just like we do with any other new space that we're creating, we're going to start with a new component and we're going to refer to that as our follower. We're going to hit OK. And now we're going to create a sketch and we're going to put it right here on this top plane. And I'm going to come up to create, choose a rectangle, a center rectangle, and I'm going to pull it back right at the origin, and we're going to make this 0.25 tab by 0.25, creating that axle sized rectangle right in the middle. Once I have that in place and properly sized and dimensioned, I can finish my sketch and we will extrude that one and only rectangle we have, and we're going to make it 4 inches in length. So replace that right there with 4 and hit enter, and there is our piece. Now before we go off of that, we're going to modify that by changing the physical material, and we're actually going to close our plastic because we want it to be wood, and we're going to choose this first pine option and drag it onto our axle and hit close. Okay, once we have the follower created, we're going to go back and make our follower guide subassembly our active component, and we're going to create a new component, and we will name it the roller, which is basically what we're going to use to follow our cam inside of our automaton box. Roller. Man, I cannot spell at all right now, and my apologies. Okay, so now that we have the roller, what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch and we're going to turn our box to the right and then choose that plane that's basically the only option we have, the one facing us right there. Next, we're going to choose the line tool, and we're going to kind of zoom in on the bottom where our origin is, and I'm just going to move it up to about here, and I'm going to make a line. I'm going to then bring that line down to about here, and then I'm going to hit the check and make another one on the other side, the exact same length, and you'll see that this dotted line shows up and knows that you are across from the other one. And then once we have that, we'll hit the checkbox and we're going to come up to create, and we're going to choose a 3-point arc. Now, with this 3-point arc, we're going to select the bottom of this line and we're going to select the bottom of this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this downward, not to the origin, but just keep going until you see the tangent constraints pop up on the lines where they meet. And you'll see right there is where they popped up. You see the 2 tangent constraints right here where our points are. And once we have both of them, we will just left click and you will see our tangent constraints again pop up right here. Once we have that, we're going to dimension this so we have everything the right size. So we're going to select the top here, pull it up, and we want it to be 0.625 in length. Next, I'm going to choose my horizontal vertical, because what you would notice is this side actually moved in, but this side didn't move at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the horizontal vertical, place it on this top line, and I'm going to hold the shift key until I find the center, which is indicated by that X and that triangle. So I will left click there, and then I will left click on my origin, and then you'll see it just move it over, and these lines actually will turn black at the distance point. Next, after that, we're going to dimension the length of these lines right here. So we're going to hit the dimensioning tool, select that line, and we want it to be 0.0625. And you'll see that the other one kind of just followed the same suit, and you can even left click on it and pull it over, and you'll see that the create's already given, so we can just hit cancel there. Now we're going to make another, and we want it to be from this point to the origin point, and we want this one to be 0.1875. And we'll hit enter, and you'll see it slide down just like so, and you'll see the whole thing is now completely black, which means that it is fully constrained. And we will just go ahead and we will finish our sketch. Now, when I zoom out a little and I turn my box, you're going to notice that the sketch that we made is actually right in the middle of our follower. And so what we're going to do is when we extrude it, because it's in the middle, we need the follower to go in both directions. So we're going to come up here to extent type, direction, and we're going to type symmetric. Now, once we have chosen symmetric, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from half length to whole length. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change the distance to 0.625, which creates a follower guide about that size. And we're going to hit OK. Now, the next thing we're going to do is you will notice that our follower goes down. If I just select the right side of the box and I highlight the follower, you'll notice it goes into our follower, but there's no space for that to actually happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch, and we're going to place it right on the top here of our roller. And we're going to go back to create a center rectangle, put it right on the origin, and this one we're going to make 0.26 by tab 0.26. That way we're making it a little bigger than the actual follower size itself, so we have room to place it inside of there. We'll hit enter. Now we're going to finish our sketch, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to want to extrude that rectangle down. But what you're going to notice is every time I put my cursor there, it's highlighting the follower. So I'm going to come over here to my side component, and I'm going to turn off the eye on the follower, so I can now select that rectangle we just made, and we want to extrude it downward. So I'm going to just grab this and pull it downward, and then I'm going to type in 0.1875, and you'll see it cut into our roller, and I will hit OK. Now I'm going to turn my follower back on so I can see it here, and I'm going to make my sub-assembly my top component, so we now see our whole piece. Now we have two final things that we're going to do. The first one is we're going to make sure that these two things stay together, and as you can see, I can pull the roller off, so I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to go up to Assemble, choose As Built Joint. We want them rigidly connected, the roller to the follower, and we'll hit OK. You'll see the joint shows up, and I can no longer pull these two pieces apart. Last but not least, I'm going to modify the appearance of my roller. So I'm going to come down into Paint, open that up, Glossy, and let's choose blue for our roller, and we'll hit Close. And there it is. There is essentially the follower guide subassembly. So what we can do is we can come over here and just save that as it is, and we can actually close this tab. And when I open up my data panel on the left, I will see my follower guide subassembly, and I will right click and I will insert into current design. From here, I will just move them above, so they're all floating above my piece. So I will hit OK. I'll right click again, insert into current design. I'm going to bring it straight up, and then I'm going to bring it over 1.5 inches, where I know it will be centrally located directly above the other follower. I will hit OK. And then last but not least, insert into current design one more time, pull it straight up, pull it over 1.5 inches, and just kind of line them up all like so. And we are ready to go. we're ready to then move to the next piece, which will be adding the cams inside and then connecting these three pieces to our cams.